whom I admired always
our electric memories. In 1932 என்ன நடந்துன்னு சொல்றாரு. பேரு ஜாலமா எல்லாம் சொல்றாரு. அவ்வளோ கட்டி. Appa oldest student. I'm a favorite student also.
I request all of you to join for Kriya. May I request you to please stand, if it is possible. I invite Mrs. Durga Sriram to sing the invitation song.
भवतु मे सदा शारदाम्बिके देवी शारदाम्बिके शारदाम्बिके देवी शारदाम्बिके करुणाकरी दयाकरी कृपाकरी सरस्वती शारदाम्बिके देवी शारदाम्बिके கரங்களில் வீணை கொண்டவள் நீ வரங்களை பொழியும் தேவி கல்யாணி கரங்களில் வீணை கொண்டவள் நீ வரங்களை பொழியும் தேவி கல்யாணி காரணம் நீ பரிபூரணம் நீ நித்யதாயினி நீ சாரதாம்பிகே தேவி சாரதாம்பிகே ஸ்ருதிலய பாவம் ஆனவள் நீ ஸ்வரலய நாத பூஷணி நீ ஸ்ருதிலய பாவம் ஆனவள் நீ ஸ்வரலய பாவம் பூஷணி நீ நான்முகன் பிரம்மனின் நாயகினி நித்தமருள்பவள் நீ சாரதாம்பிகே தேவி சாரதாம்பிகே சாரதாம்பிகே தேவி சாரதாம்பிகே.
Mrs. Durga. Mrs. Durga is a close friend and currently a bank official whose passion is Carnatic music. Sakala Vidya Vachaspati, Sri S.R. Govindarajan Centenary celebrations. It is with great sense of joy and gratitude that I begin this evening's event. I am Dr. Srimati Narayanan, a senior faculty with the Light School of Optometry from batch 1 to batch 31. I think I'm one of the most privileged faculty members. I've received many honors from this esteemed organization as a faculty. The credit for this goes to Sri S.R. Govindarajan, who one day, 31 years back, called me and asked me to meet Dr. Badrinath and Dr. K. Ravishankar to set the syllabus and conduct the classes on communication skills. I had never imagined that I could do something as important as setting a syllabus 31 years back. But Sri S.R.G. could see the potential in me, and here I am, blessed with an opportunity to express my gratitude. We are very honored that many of you have come to honor this event with your august presence. I invite Dr. T.S. Surendran to welcome the gathering. Dr. T.S. Surendran is the Vice Chairman of Shankar Netralaya from October 2003, Director, Department of Pediatric Ophthalmology, Shankar Netralaya, Director, Shankar Netralaya Orbis Pediatric Ophthalmology Learning and Training Center. Sir. Trustee and Board Member of Shankar Netralaya, Guwahati, Assam, Chairman, Institutional Committee for Stem Cell Research, Government Stanley Hospital, Chennai, and Board Member of Chennai Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So these are not names to do
Good evening to all of you. Members on the dais, members of the dais, family members of the late Prof.S.R. Govindarajan. I think it is a formality to extend a warm welcome to all of you. But I thought, I think being a old bandicoot, I just bring a little nostalgia of the how this elite school was born. And I think our big boss, Dr. Badrinath, is there. He's the big boss of Shankar Netralaya, along with Prof.S.R. another big boss, and I think Vengu was there. I think three people met. One, Mr. Shaw, who was the donor of the elite school of optometry, and the meeting was in the old building where Shankar Netralaya was original, in a very small building donated by the Poxy family. And that building, I think there was a meeting, and that 2 hours meeting, I think elite school was born. Then I think Ravi Shankar and myself, to a large extent, we extended all the help. So recalling Professor S.R.G., I think part of the family, probably that's why I'm here. And I know each one of them, and they house in Nugambakam where I had suji, bhaji and all with coffee, and a little humorous man with gossips and whatnot, and very long association. And Professor S.R.G. was not only instrumental in bringing up the elite school of optometry, the syllabus what she was mentioning, he also was responsible for us to get associated with Women's Christian College, to conduct the classes at Women's Christian College. And with Kotari also he extended help. And then he brought in Principal Mr. Srinivasan, and who is no more. And also one Mr. Tyagarajan to be the administrator. Now I think Uma is there as an administrator. But that time I think Tyagarajan from the Madras University was a very big help. And I think I had the classes right from the inception, 1986 to 98, 1986 to 98, and I used to attend every week one class on binocular vision and low vision aids and contact lenses. And Professor S.R.G. now and then I think used to interact, and very tough part of binocular vision was handled by our Dr. Lingam Gopal, who is sitting there. I think he is the president of Vision Research Foundation. That part I left it to Lingam Gopal, and I was taking the easier part of binocular vision. And then later I think Dr. Vaidya Lingam, and he was also interviewed by our late Professor S.R.G. So he was instrumental in everything, all aspects of elite school of optometry, and it is actually one of the, what we can say, created such a big awareness. Now there are no ophthalmologist is practicing without an optometrist. The optometrist excellence is because of these three giants who started the elite school of optometry. And I actually take these blessings and welcome all of you once again, one and all, and particularly the family of Professor S.R.G. Thank you.
When they meet with a purpose, great things happen, and today we are witnessing it. It is very interesting to see that all aspects of ESO development, Professor S.R.G. had paid attention to make sure that what had given birth has actually gets a real good form. I now request Mrs. Radha Rajan, Professor S.R.G.'s daughter-in-law, to felicitate Mrs. Durga Sriram. Ma'am, can you please come? Ms. Durga? I now request Mr. Ravi Rajan and Mr. Sundar Rajan, Professor S.R.G.'s sons, to felicitate Dr. T.S. Sis. Doctor? Dr. T.S. Sullivan, please. Success is about dedication. You may not be aware where you want to be or do what you want to do when you are on the journey. But you've got to be willing to have vision and foresight that leads you to an incredible end. A beautiful quote by Usher. Professor S.R.G.'s journey of life is a testimony for success. We'll present a short documentary on Sri S.R.G.
This opportunity given to me by Govindarajan Foundation for presenting to you a brief report on the general structure and future plans of the Elite School of Optometry, which will shortly be inaugurated by Honorable Mr. Patel of Tamil Nadu.
Realize the value of what Dr. S.R.G. had put forward, the societal recognition.
Immediately he agreed to help, and he called few people, and they all pulled up. I had to go abroad for treatment, and at that time SRG was a great help. He gave me a lot of contacts.
That whenever Professor SRG used to go, there was absolute silence in the college.
And there was a long corridor, and I have to get down the staircase and walk the corridor to go out. As we were coming half the corridor, SRG was just coming towards us. We did not see him, and the moment we saw him, all the others vanished from the place. All ran away because we know that he is going to pull us up. But I just walked, and he asked me, where are the others? Why they all ran away? I told him, sir, we are going for a cinema. You're going for a cinema? What is the time now? I said, sir, it is 1. Which theatre? He asked me. I told him, sir, we are going to Gaiety. But how are you going to go? Sorry, I would have given my car, but my car will carry only 4 of you. So make your arrangements. And just walked away. We all thought that he was going to punish us, but the man did not do anything. On the contrary, offered his car for us to take to a movie theatre when we are cutting a class. But it's not that he was encouraging us to cut a class. What happened was, after that day till we left the college, we never thought of cutting a class even once.
Sikal Nayakanpete Rajagopalan Govindarajan, Professor S.R.G., was born on 10th August 1917 at Kumbakonam to Sri S.S. Rajagopala Iyengar and Srimati Pattamma as 11th child. Sri S.R.G. had his schooling at the Town High School, Kumbakonam. The same school that the mathematics genius of our country, Ramanujan, attended at Bishop Heber High School, Tiruchirappalli. He was a favorite student of his teachers. At Trichy, Father De Souza mentored him throughout, molded him into a dreamer of dreams and a performer on his dream projects. Sri S.R.G. did his post-graduation in the Department of Physics, Annamalai University. No wonder Sri S.R.G. born and brought up in the banks of River Kaveri. He developed interest in fine arts and especially Carnatic music. Even during his post-graduation days, his interest in music made him take up a research project in sound in Carnatic music. Under the great guidance of Carnatic musician Tiger Varadachari, Sri S.R.G. in physics started his career at Pachiyappa's College. He shifted to Loyola College under the guidance of his teacher, Father De Souza at Loyola.
My name is Ramakrishna Raja, a student of Professor Govindarajan. When I joined Loyola College in 1952 as a student, his deep knowledge covered a very wide range of subjects like literature, philosophy, sports, music, and so on. And his house was like a Gurukulam, where many of his students would gather to take his wise counsel on various matters.
He authored many textbooks in physics. These books, even today, serve as a reference text for many teachers and research scholars. After a short stint at Loyola, Sri S.R.G. moved to the head of the department at A.M. Jain College. All these outstanding qualities made the management of Dwarka Das Govardhan Das Vaishnav College to make an invitation to head the Department of Physics and also to serve as Vice Principal. He had the extreme goodness and accepted the invitation when the college was incepted in the year 1964. Thus, Sri S.R.G. became Vice Principal to help Totadri Iyengar, the first principal of the college. 2 years later, SRG became the principal of Vaishnav College. Sri SRG's faith in God is at once innate and intense.
One day we had our annual day function where we had a small skit, and in the skit there was a play and there is a principal, and I was asked to play the principal's role, almost trying to imitate S.R. Govindarajan. And at the end of the, it was a satire of course, and all the play, my fellow students, my friends said, you are going to have it from tomorrow, this man is going to mark you. But let me tell you, after the film, he came to me and said, you did wonderfully, you really mimicked me so well, and really I loved what you did.
The vigor and extraordinary interest with which he pursued the Rotarian goals saw him elevated as the president of the Rotary Club in 1963. Subsequently, as the charter president of Madras West Club in 1965. During his chairmanship, aid from all corners of the world in general, Australia, Canada, and America in particular, had flowed in for meeting the cause of several community welfare projects, such as dental camps, eye clinics, not only in Tamil Nadu but also in other Indian states. The Rotary movement elected Sri SRG as district governor in 1977 to 78. The Canadian International Development Agency came forward to give $4 million to meet the cost of 100 of projects in his district, including rehabilitation of mentally challenged mothers. He started and conducted free polio drop campaigns in our state with the help of Canadian government. Even after his retirement, Professor SRG was instrumental in sending 32 scholars abroad for higher studies. He shared his expertise in starting educational projects in parallel stream. He was the idea behind Kothari Academy for Women. He enabled starting elite school of optometry by Shankara Netralaya to start a paramedical course. Professor SRG enabled this dream to become a reality. Dr. S.S. Badrinath, Professor S.R. Govindarajan, and Professor J.M. Enoch co-founded the Elite School of Optometry. He has influenced thousands of minds through education.
This institution believes the amount of trouble he goes through to help another person. It is indeed our fortune that he has agreed to deliver the keynote address at this dedication ceremony for the Elite School of Optometry.
I am Dr. K. Ravishankar, a practicing ophthalmologist in Chennai. I have been practicing ophthalmology for about 3 to 4 decades, and I was associated with Shankara Netralaya from 1980 to 2006. Shankara Netralaya, which was headed by Dr. Badrinath, decided to start an optometry school. With the help of the Berkeley School, with the help of Professor Enoch, it was felt that education in optometry would greatly benefit India. At that stage, optometry was in a very infancy stage with not many schools optometric education. It was just about a year or two program giving ophthalmic technicians. It was felt that Netralaya adopt the Berkeley program, which was a 4-year program, and there was a need that an academician should help run the program. At that stage, sought the help of Prof.S.R, who had already retired by then. He must have been around 70 then, and he, being an academician and a physicist profession, be able to help Netralaya not only to have the curriculum set right, but also to run the program. And after this deliberation, the school was started in the year 1988.
His legacy as a teacher continues. His grandson, Dr. Suraj Srinivasan, is a senior professor in Harvard Business School.
My grandfather was a very special person for me. As some of you might know, he started from very humble beginnings, and education played a real big part in his life. He was very proud of his grandchildren's achievements, so every small thing, educational or otherwise, I would feel very proud to go and tell him, you know, this little thing or that little thing, and he would be very, very encouraging. More substantially, my relationship with him as a student started when I was maybe in 10th or 11th standard, when I summoned the courage actually to start to ask him that I would learn physics from him. And I say summon the courage because it was summoning courage to try to ask someone of his stature that I wanted to learn physics from him. I had grown up with seeing countless of his physics books around the house. That was the first time I actually known the authors of books to be related to me. You know, I've seen books on principles of physics, his book on light, his book on sound around the house. In fact, more recently, I Googled his name and I knew his master's thesis was on sound. And I found his early master's thesis from Annamalai University published in a international physics journal. So, having that person of that stature of physics, I finally summoned the courage to ask him, and he was more than delighted to help me learn physics and learn it better. And for me, that is the mark of a true teacher and of a true human being, in fact. And now, as an educator myself, I can only hope that I tell myself that I should work hard, and I can only hope that I will have a fraction of the influence that he has had on his students' lives myself. And if I'm able to do that, I think that would be a fitting way to continue the legacy that SRG, my tata, created.
Mrs. Sumati Raghavan is a teacher in Shishya School.
My earliest memories of my grandfather, SRG Tata, was that of a strict disciplinarian. He was one of those people who inspired awe in all of us. When we were little children and we'd come visiting Chennai during the holidays, we would always be a little nervous when he came inside and sat down in the room. But we always looked up to him and asked him whatever we needed to know, because we knew that he would know the answers. And what inspired me a lot from the very beginning was whenever we went out somewhere, when we went for a party or a function, everybody in the room would stand up and greet him. I noticed this with people who had long since passed out from under his care, people who had now become big industrialists, who had high positions, who were people in their own respect, very, very important. But still, when they saw their old professor, their old principal, their old teacher, they would stand up and greet him. He inspired that kind of respect in people. And this left quite a deep imprint on my mind when I was very, very young. My grandfather was always one of those people whom could be relied on at any point for anything. He would always lend a helping hand to people. He loved taking care of children, poor, anybody who asked him for help, and he would give it. And then as I grew older, this impression of what a teacher means to the people at large, that left a big impression, and I was quite determined to follow in his footsteps. I took up a job teaching in a school here in Adyar called Shishya. I'm teaching English there, and every time I walk into the class and the children stand up to greet me, I'm reminded of my grandfather and the kind of respect that he commanded from his children, from his students. So I think I feel very humbled and very privileged in a way to be one of the people who's carrying on his legacy in the family. And I am really, really grateful to him for really inspiring me to take this field, because I think being a teacher is a very large part of my personality and one that I really like the most. So on this 100th birthday of my grandfather, I'm very happy to be able to wish him a happy birthday and say, see Tata, I too have become a teacher.
His niece, Mrs. Shobha Raman, is a principal of Vidya Mandir.
S.R. Govindarajan, known to me as Atimber, is one of the greatest educationalists. I remember, along with that little smile, he said, I'm very happy you're a teacher. So I felt very nice to make the connection with him, and then onwards, whenever I visited him, he used to give me a few tips, a few talks about what he thought a teacher must be and what he thought mustn't be. So maybe because we were had the passion for physical sciences and I did teach chemistry at that time, he gave me some tips as to how to make the class interesting and how a teacher's perspective can make the student hate the subject or love the subject. So as a principal, when I took over, he was one of the persons whom I thought a lot about before I sat on this chair, and I'm sure he is there to guide me by giving the inspiration which I need.
Professor S.R.G. truly lived as a great role model. To quote Dr. Abdul Kalam, educationists should build the capacities of the spirit of inquiry, creativity, entrepreneurial and moral leadership among students and become the role model. Let us in our own humble way learn from such a great person and dedicate ourselves to spread knowledge and education to become worthy citizens in this world.
Wow, what an awesome, inspiring life. He has many of his achievements have been after retirement, and if you look at it, the journey has been in education, in community and social work, and then innovation in education with new programs like Allied School of Optometry. Truly inspiring and truly someone that we can emulate. This is a message for all who touch 60, that you only retire from a role that you have been playing, but not retire from life. Many of the people here are like that. They are all working after 60, and so nobody who is touching 60 can say, okay, I can stop working. That's not going to happen. Right. We now invite Mr. Ramakrishna Raja, who is a well-known industrialist and past district Rotary governor, one of the young, long-standing student of Professor S.R.G., who has come from Rajapalayam to share his memories of his professor. May I invite you, sir?
Respected Dr. Govindarajan, Dr. Surendran, and distinguished colleagues on the dais, members of the S.R.G. family, other friends and admirers of Professor S.R.G. It is indeed a great privilege to be here, to be part of this very pleasant function organized by S.R.G. family, particularly Sundhu, with the support of Dr. Badrinath and the Shankar Netralaya, to give us all an opportunity to pay our tribute to the memory of a great teacher, a wonderful human being. My association with Professor S.R.G. is for more than 60 years. I first came into touch with him as a student, as a 15-year-old boy who just passed out of college. My cousin Ramchandra Raja Chandra, he is here. He and I joined Loyola College in 1952. And our other cousin Ramasubramanya Raja was already his student for 2 years. So the first thing he did was to take us to Professor S.R.G. and introduce us to him and said, here are the two cousins of mine. And the association started that day. And
And we were, most of the time, other than in the evenings, we were with him. It is not only physics that he taught, but he really imparted values for us. Every minute spent with him was valuable, which we didn't realize at the time, but then now looking back, that was what it was. Prof.S.R was a great teacher, no doubt. The way he taught physics was what made us all love that subject. In fact, we all ended up doing BSc Physics. But then it went beyond. Every little incident, every little event, he would tell us how to go about it, how to approach life, and so on. He comes from a very illustrious family. From Kumbakonam, they are very traditional family, a large family who were very absolutely, in all the, he was quite well versed in scriptures. It was not very obvious, but every time he spoke, he would refer to Indian scriptures and the values that he derived from them. And he also used to talk about his elder, the grand uncle, I think, Dr. T.S.S. Rajan Trichy, who was a minister in my uncle Kumaraswamy Raja's cabinet, and his close association with him. Later in the years, he came under the influence of Father Jerome D'Souza, who was really his mentor. He would always say that he owes it to Father Jerome D'Souza for what he was. And he was the one who brought him to Loyola College. And before coming here, he of course did his research under Professor Ramchandra Rao in Annamalai University. He used to talk about him. And in fact, he has taken me on one of our visits to Bangalore to visit Dr. Ramchandra Rao. The sort of contact, he continued his contact with them. And while at Annamalai University, you saw that he took keen interest in music. His knowledge of music was very, very deep. And he was all the time interested in music. In fact, I remember one evening impromptu, he did a Kada Kalakshepam on Tyagaraja. I have not heard, I have listened to some of the very senior Kada Kalakshepam artists, but I have not listened to that side. The way SRG approached the whole thing of Tyaga Brahmam was something that is still very, very fresh in my memory. 1956, of course, he left Loyola. He went to A.M. Jain College. But I think his tenure in Loyola was very, very important. Some of the top students he had, many of them used to continue in touch with him for the rest of his life, the rest of their life and rest of his life. And they used to visit him often. And we all used to interact with him. We all had something in common because we were all students of SRG. That was our brand name. Professor T. Krishnan, physicist, son of Thiruvenkatachari, was his student. Later he went to Australia and did some pioneering work in radio telescopy. And he used to write to Professor SRG, and SRG used to share his letters with all of us. B.P. Raman, a top lawyer, he was one of his students. He used to visit him regularly. And so was Sethuram, our own company, was a top printer who went to UK and in those days and got trained in printing technology. And then M.M. Matthew was a banker from Kerala. There were some of the students who were there. Every time they came to Chennai or any occasion, they would visit SRG. As I said, his house was like a Gurukulam. Of course, the one top person was Ramasubramanya Raja, who is one of the, unfortunately we lost him recently. He was one of his most favorite students. He became a top industrialist of this part of the country, and he was also very closely connected, a person who got inspiration and support from Professor S.R. So then when he went to Jain College, so there again, wherever he went, he left his mark. He created departments which were the model departments. He is an institution builder. So, but from Jain College, he went to Vaishnava College. I think Vaishnava College had the benefit of his being there for a long period. He not only created the physics department, but then he became the principal and he made it one of the fine institutions that it is today. Two other institutions which he really enjoyed working with are, of course, the Kothari Academy and the Elite School of Optometrics. When the philanthropist Sri Kothari decided to make an endowment for starting an institution for women, it was SRG who put together the whole scheme. He conceived of the idea of an institution for girls, and today it is one of the fine, it's sort of a institution which prepares young women to face life, to be independent, and to stand on their own legs. So that's a very fine institution. And the Elite School of Optometrics is, of course, as we have seen here today, it's one of the finest institutions in this part of the world, training optometrists. And of course, he worked closely with Dr. Badrinath. He was very proud of it. He used to all the time talk about the work that he has done in the Elite School of Optometrics. The longest my association with SRG after my college days was through Rotary. We both joined Rotary on the same day. He was my professor, but I was a young entrepreneur, but we all joined Rotary on the very same day. He was my senior, but he would treat me like an equal. He would say we are on the level. You are a Rotarian and I am a Rotarian. And he became the president, he became the Rotary governor, and in every one of his activities he would involve me. He would give me some responsibility or other. We saw that Canadian connection. He took an active role in building international relationships. Rotary at that time used to be sort of an elite organization. Though it is considered a service club, people used to treat Rotary as a symbol of status. But when SRG became a member, he changed the whole approach to Rotary, and he used to write articles. He looked at Rotary from a different angle, from the service aspect. You as a citizen, as a leading citizen, somebody who mattered, how you can serve society, that was his approach. And I think SRG had a great role in changing the whole approach of Rotary into many of the service activities which were built for, May George designed it. They were all for cyclone-proof buildings where in times of cyclone the villagers could come and take shelter. The initiative for that came from SRG. He was the one who was responsible for the funding of that thing coming up through Rotary. So because not many people remember it. And then later we are talking of the big polio program that Rotary has done. The seed for that was sown during the time of SRG through Professor Audrey Olham. So these are some of the things that Professor SRG did. And the point is, in life we say in Hindu, our culture, after parents, Matrudevo, Pitrudevo, next comes Acharya. But it's not very often you can find an Acharya whom you can put in that place. Because not everyone who teaches you cannot occupy that position. Fortunately for us, we had in SRG a person who eminently could occupy that position, and we were privileged to treat him as our Acharya Devo Bhava. He was like a god to us. He was a mentor. He would, I continued my association. He would write letters. I preserved some of his letters, and I was going through it yesterday just to see, recollect my memory. There was one letter that he wrote to me when I was in Jamshedpur on training. I just finished my training in a workshop, learning to chip. There's a basic thing that tell you, take a chisel and try to hammer it. And I wrote to him, I must have written to him and said, I think I did a good job. And this is what he replied. Striking a hammer straight on the head of the chisel is a job for an expert. And if you have started doing that correctly, it means that you are well on the way to become a successful man. The mistake, the next one is more important. The mistake with many of us is that we took years to do this in life, and when we learnt this, we did not see where the chisel point was. So he would really pinpoint, he would write, and whatever he wrote, something that was worth preserving. This was the sort of association I had the privilege to have, and I'm very happy that we are having this event where we can talk about it, we can reminisce about it, and we can feel very happy and proud about it. I would like to particularly thank the family of Prof.S.R. As we have seen, many of them have followed him, starting with Sumati teaching in a school and with Suraj as a tenured professor in the Harvard. So, they covered the whole range of teaching, and I hope they will continue this great legacy of Professor Govindarajan. And I must thank the organizers, Sundu, the family of S.R.G., Dr. Badrinath, and everyone for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this detailed, very interesting information about Professor S.R.G.'s journey as an educationist, his passion for music, his Rotary Club activities for the community. And I think one thing I learned is when a teacher pays personal attention to their students, they grow and shine. Many of the names that you mentioned have all become great, and they are all S.R.G. students. It just shows that how much of attention he has paid to them. He has left an indelible mark wherever he went. That's something very inspiring, sir. The coach that we need to notice where we put the chisel is really very strong, and I'm sure it has left a very strong impression, and the chisel is right on where it needs to be. I now request Dr. T.S. Surendran to felicitate Mr. Ramakrishna Raja. Thank you, sir. Parupu Illama Kalyanama is something we all have heard. Dr. P.P. Santanam Illama ESO functional. Dr. P.P. Santanam is the next person I would like to invite. He's such a strong pillar for ESO, such a father figure, a gentle father figure. I have no words to describe, sir. A medical doctor who specialized in occupational health, founder of Department of Hygiene and Occupational Diseases in several organizations like NLC, Lucas TVS, etc. He has been the General Secretary and President of the Indian Association of Occupational Health. And he has been awarded Fellow Indian Association of Occupational Health in 2007 for his contribution in the occupational health nationally and internationally. And he is the pioneer to introduce the subject of occupational optometry in 1988, and even today continues to teach. He's the first principal of Light School of Optometry. I have great pleasure in inviting you, sir. Over to you.
Respected members of Professor S.R.G.'s family, the living legend of eye vision care, the first veterinary surgeon in India, the Pitamaha of optometry in India, Dr. Badrinath, distinguished guests on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I had option to talk free. You may go on, like what I do in my class lecture. Since the time is short, what I did was I put whatever I want to say in a few pages, half sheets, not a big sheet. And I go through them. It's a great honor to be asked to speak about Prof.S.R, who is immortalized and with academics and education, especially optometric education, and the first director of Elite School of Optometry. Professor S.R.'s life's achievements and association with SM and ESO, Centenary Elite School of Optometry, are encrypted in the spelling of his name itself, a grand bouquet of flowery achievements. Let us see what this is. His full name starts with letter S and ends in N. Yes, N. Shankara Nethralaya. What a divine coincidence. The letter S stands for life full of selfless service. He puts service before self. Letter R, incorporating many revolutionary thoughts in education. He believed in the societal recognition of the quality of education, which to him was more important than the value of a 2-letter basic degree offered by university, which he did when he started the course in elite school. G, a gentleman to the core. He led a life of goodness for doing good service to academics and society, and nothing short of goodness in everything he did. O, optometric education and building an edifice of optometric teaching. V, a visionary that he was. He was a vanguard in many spheres of education. I, his life has been an inspiration to students, colleagues, peers, and to the society. N, his life breathed nationalism. He worked in a dream to put India on top of the world in education. D, led a life of dedication to duty. His life was full of achievements in academics. His life, letter R, his life is an example of righteousness, unyielding perseverance, and performance. A, he was an astute thinker. J, he was a judicious manager of resources and people. A, interest in art. It has already been said about his interest in music, a deep involvement in music. N, a life of nobility and humbleness. A noble heart thinks in noble ways. This quality of him can be appreciated in his reply to a citation at MRF in 2003, when he said, quote, "To me, the circumstances that gave me association with you, Dr. SSB, 25 years ago, and my recognition as a member of Nethralaya Parivar are immensely more valuable than the citation. I shall preserve these precious treasures till my last breath." Unquote. There's an adage which goes, always do right things and do things right. If you don't do things right, you go right. Dr. Badrinath thought of and planned to do the right thing, that is, establishing optometry in India. But he needed someone who could do things right. And who else but Professor S.R. Professor S.R. patiently and intensely went through the large collection of literatures, pamphlets, and books collected from various optometric institutions of several countries, given to him by Dr. Badrinath, and finally concluded that What was needed was a fresh cadre of visions, optometrists, to bridge the gap in the number of people requiring ocular and vision care and the available resources to ameliorate the suffering of the needy. The roles of these professional people were well defined in such a way that they do not infringe on ophthalmic care by ophthalmologists. Prof.S.R. made visits to several optometric schools in the USA, interacted with optometric educators, attended optometric symposia, seminars, and conventions to have a meaningful grasp of optometric program. In the area of curriculum building, the services of one of the world's most competent optometry educators, Professor Dr. Enoch, who was then the president of the University of California, Berkeley School of Optometry, was sought. And with his contribution, Professor S.R.G. took the level of curriculum to be on par with the best ones available in the world. Professor S.R.G., a visionary that he was, initiated a 4-column pragmatic program of 4 years duration that would be the years to come, moving from 20th to 21st century, fit with the technological development and cultural needs. The first column consisted of support courses such as communication, accounting, and computer education with hands-on experience, which I would say was unique at that time, when even some of the engineering colleges did not have computers for their students. People wonder still why courses on accounting found a place in a healthcare-related profession. But Professor S.R.G. would think that as an independent practitioner, an optometrist should have a basic understanding of accounting too. This shows the quantum of involvement, concern for the prospective students, and holistic approach that he had in designing the program. His thinking on what should go into the syllabus was amazing. The second column focused attention on basic sciences, both physiological and biological. The third column envisaged the core and applied optometry courses. The core courses are subjects in the field of ophthalmology and optometry with clinical exposure. The fourth column envisaged a unique scope of full-time clinical work at Shankaracharya. Professor S.R.G. had an uncanny instinct of choosing the right person for the right job, teacher or otherwise. The foundation laid by Professor S.R.G. for the education of optometry is so strong that in later years, 2 more stories in the form of MPhil and PhD were added. When I took over the United School of Optometry as his first principal at the behest of Dr. Bhadranath, I had 2 stalwarts, both Professor S.R.G. and Dr. S.S.P., to help me run the school successfully. And in this, I was ably supported by other pillars, Dr. Ravi Shankar, who is here, Dr. Surendran, other faculties and staff members. My interactions with Professor S.R.G. was cordial and educative at all times. He guided me as a parent or elder brother would in my learning the nuances of academics. Sri P.K. Kothari, I just take one more minute. Kothari, chairman of ACS Kothari Academy for Women, invited Professor S.R.G. to be the director and start an academy empowering women's advancement in society, where he brought in vocational training, including regular classes, which became a modern academy for others to follow. We have 2 of the academy teachers, Chilita and Kotla here. I am grateful to Professor S.R.G. for choosing me to be the course director of hospital management program at the Institute, a pioneer venture in Chennai. If anyone deserves more than 100% mark for his contribution to enlightened education in Tamil Nadu, nay in India, it is only Professor S.R. The products of this institute will continue to speak of and for Professor S.R. and every step that this institution takes in the global platform will carry the memories and gratitude for the noble man Professor S.R. Finally, his service to our countrymen and women will ever remain in the form of proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a descriptive experience. I especially like the expansion of the names. I'm sure one more time we can read it out, sir. S for selfless service, R for revolutionary thought, G for gentleman, O for optimal education, V for visionary, I for inspiration, N for nationalism, D for dedication, A for academic achievement, R for righteousness, A for astute, J for judicious judgment of people, A artistic, and N noble. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for telling us so much about him, because we do not know all these undocumented precious experiences. I now request Professor S.R.'s son, Mr. Govindarajan, to felicitate Dr. Santanam. Now we invite Lion P. Haridas to share his thoughts and memories. Lion Haridas is a senior advocate in Madras High Court. He has been secretary of B.G. Vaishnav College for Men for 13 years and for 10 years with MOP Vaishnav. He was instrumental to start MOP Vaishnav College for Men and to start the Department of Vaishnavism at the University of Madras. Over to you, sir.
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I offer my pranams to all the teachers assembled here because we are today celebrating the 100th birthday of the great Guru, Sri S.R. Govindarajan. And please accept my greetings and namaskaram. It is a great opportunity that Sundar Raj has given me. It's a divine opportunity. Only 5 days back, we had Guru Purnima celebrating the August Gurus, worshipping the Gurus. And today in the Panchami, we are having another great Guru being worshipped. So it's a great opportunity. Now my association, as Dr. Badrinath was coming, he was telling me it was you who were instrumental in bringing SRG to me. I said I was a small squirrel that provided a link, and that has built the bridge, and we have got this elite school of optometry. It's so happy. Let me take the events one after another right from the beginning. We decided to start with the Vaishnav College. The lands were donated by our family. My brother, Mr. Govindas, is primarily responsible for bringing SRG into Vaishnav family. At that time, he was in Jain College, SRG, and Dr. A. Lakshmi Somamulia was Vice Chancellor. He visited the site of the Gokul Bagh and straight away said, approved, and find out the principles, but not for first year or second year, but at least 2-3 principles must, so that you can stabilize. He said, I will request Dr. Tota Drenga to be with you for 1 year, then extend his time for retirement, and then we must find out a suitable person. So Mr. Govindas identified Sri S.R. Govindarajan, and he was the vice principal. From 66-67, he became the principal. And the day he became the principal, there was a change in the campus. The entire college, even today, I think so today because I have not been going for a few months. at the mark of the bell, starting bell, the college bell, there is a prayer that is being rendered, which was sung by Sandhyanam Srinivas Rao, Bhagavatam prayer. That prayer is played every day, and the moment that prayer is switched on, the entire campus stands still for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That mark of respect. It was S.R.G. who started this practice. Even though he was very Catholic in his outlook, he was highly, deeply religious. He started what is known as Friday Gita classes. Then so many things he brought in which had a religious thing without being forced. It was all, and that's how it started. 66, he took over the principalship, and my contact was just. But one great thing about him is he was almost 10 years senior to me, but he always called me Haridas Bhai. He will never say even Haridasi, he will call me Haridas Bhai. He treated me as a brother. On October 11th, 1975, an accident that happened that brought me to the limelight through S.R.G. The previous correspondent of the college died in an air crash in Bombay. And next day morning, the newspaper said so and so, so and so, and they said, I am Haridas Bhai, you will have to accept the responsibility. I said, I am too young. I was just 38, 39 years. No, your brother Govindarajan Bhai is not here, he has gone to Brajyatra. There is no one else, you must take it up. Then he forced me, literally, I took, from that day, if I am there in the field of education, it is only because of research. And the way he started, his sense of fulfillment still was not there in the informal education. He went on in the book. Meanwhile, his retirement was coming. Immediately retirement was coming, and then he wanted to stand for the Rotary governorship. He asked me, Haridas Bhai, a teacher becoming a Rotary governor is not liked by the business people, industry people. What do you think so? I said, no sir, you can stand. Then I organized a function in Ashok Hotel then, and saying and requesting all the old timers, T.T. Vasu, V.P. Raman, all those great people, Ram Subramanian, all his students, they came and felicitated him and made his governorship a sure thing, and he became the governor. Once he became the governor, he never lost touch with the college. He travels all abroad and started planning so many things. One of those things, of course, someone referred to the cyclone-proof Mahabalipuram. Then, see, his Catholic and very broad vision. He had an exchange program of students from Colorado University coming here, and he hosted them, and one full semester, all the Indian culture, music, dance, everything was being taught with special instructors. He took pride, and that was a great moment. Then came his Sasthyabdipurti. When his Sasthyabdipurti came, he only wanted a religious program. And he was insistent that our Guruji, Matseshwarji from Baroda, should come. And he had come at the Jamlingam Street where this Sasthyabdipurti is being celebrated and blessed him. At that point of time, many of his students came and talked to me. He said, sir, we should have a Sasthyabdipurti commemoration committee and have some mighty big project. And all of them gathered, like Ram Subramanian, T.T. Vasu, V.P. Raman, all big, and Sundar was the secretary of that. But S.R.G. told me, Haridas Bhai, if you are having this committee, one small suggestion I want. You are respecting me as a teacher, I want to respect my teacher.
made Dr. Jerome D'Souza as the chairman of this establishment. That gave me an opportunity to meet Dr. Jerome D'Souza, a great person. I believe his lectures were simply fantastic and spellbound, and that gave me an opportunity, and we had a great event, and in that Sashyabhapati commemoration, even the students of the college joined. With the result, today, even today in the college, there is an SRG theatre, open air auditorium. Normally, people have memorials, but this is one place where every year we are having activities in the name of SRG in the SRG auditorium. That is the greatest tribute the college has paid to. And more than that, in that SRG auditorium, 2 Northeastern students on their own, without our asking, at that time Dr. P.A. Venkatesan was the principal, drew a beautiful 2 huge murals, 6 by 4, 6 by 4. One showing the surrender bhakti, one is showing the acharya bhakti. Both on either side of that auditorium. They spent hours in the night and did it, and even today the murals are there in the college. And that was the spellbound magic SRG's name spread to the students. SRG then happened, as soon as he retired, at that point of time, Mr. Balakrishna Kothari was the secretary of the Vallabhacharya Sabha. I was the correspondent of the college. Mr. Balakrishna Kothari, I enabled him to purchase a property in Harley's Court. He said, I want to either have a Kalyana Mandapam or a commerce college. I said, commerce college is all in Bombay and other places. Here you must have a complete college, arts and science. That is not possible. Then what do? Then he said, can you request SRG to come and speak to me or give me this. I took there again, like a little squirrel, I gave the connection to B.K. Kothari and SRG, and then came the Kothari Academy for Women. I see here Asha Bagri, who has been working from day one here. Today, our Prime Minister says skill, speed, scale. And that was what the skill, speed and scale, what SRG dreamt there is in practice. Because it's a purely skill-oriented courses there, and he called it parallel education. See, he was not happy with the formal education. He was not giving any inputs except creating jobs. Here, the skills are being provided. Therefore, he was very proud of that parallel education. Still, his heart was not full. He was itching to do something more. In the meanwhile, one more incident I would like to, because many of them refer to his musical print. My father's birth centenary was being celebrated in Vaishnav College in 1982, where he was one of the chief guests, the BNC means director, managing director, and Raja Sir Muteshite. 3 of them were the guests, chief guests, who knew our family. And at that meeting, the prayer was sung by my wife, which is now later on very popular MSMS. That is a composition of Vallabhacharya. Adharam Maduram Madanam Maduram Nayanam Maduram. That he liked it so much, and again he'll ring me up, Haridas Bhai, please request your wife to record it for me, to play it in the Kothari Academy every day. But I could not do that. In the meanwhile, MS sang, because we approached Prabhudas Bhai Kothari, who was there, and that song is very popular and a very light composition, but giving the meaning of the concept of Krishna. So this is one incident I thought I should say. Then suddenly I used to come to Netraya because of my wife being a trustee in Swan. One day Dr. Badri called me and said, sir, who are the physics teacher in the college, sir? I said, I gave the names. But you have a principal who has retired, no? They said, can you bring him to me? I said, okay, why not? I will speak to Sarji. The moment I spoke to Sarji, he was so excited. I would definitely meet sir, we'll go. Immediately I took him in the car and fixed up an appointment with Dr. Badrinath, and then followed up with Prof.S.R and all, the birth of elite school of optometry came. So again, the little school only provided Delhi. So this is what we have, and the great teacher he was. The last thing I would like to, so many things I forgot. Yes, as a principal, this is one thing because someone spoke about the values. The values he spoke. As soon as I became the secretary, there was some injustice done in some other college for a teacher. The teachers formed into a union and then went on the roads to strike. Immediately, the reaction of SRG was sending a resignation letter to me, to the university, to the government, saying resigning and protest. Dr. Arunagam was the education minister. He rang me up, Haridas bhai, please don't do this. Please request your principal not to resign. Go and persuade him. Then, with great difficulty, I said, sir, this is not in our college, some other college has happened. No, sir, he said, our profession, teaching profession, is a noble profession, just as your lawyer's profession is. Going in the roads and demanding water, we are not laborers. That's what he said. And that moment, with great difficulty, I had to persuade him to withdraw the resignation. That is the value he had for the profession. The great man he was, and that is one thing. In the college, I said Gita classes, radio club, camera club, then ham center with Charuhasan, then so many things, vocational, BM Monta vocational center, so many things he had, full of campus, full of activity. That was his contribution. Once he came here, then he led School of Optometry. He never, he was always in contact with me. I used to meet him, and even when he became sick, last I went and met him. But 2 days or 2 months before, that was the year of physics being celebrated. I told him, sir, I want to take your interview. For what? He said, this is a year of physics. So at that time I was the secretary of the MOP Vaishnav College. We have a MOP FM radio. I would like to have your recording. Yes, please bring, but my health is very frail. I said, does not matter. We try to work. And he gave a beautiful talk which is there in the archives of MOP FM. Even at that point of time, his passion for his subject, for love for the students is so much that we cannot forget. This is how S.R.G. has been there, a great friend. As I said, he's religious too. See, apart from this, every activity is religious activity. And at the same time, he never forced on anyone anything. Very Catholic. He will be very outspoken, firm, and never mince words. He will call spade spade. There is not, to please me something he will not say. And this is what it should be like this. And it was a great guidance. And today, if I stand here in the field, one more thing I should say. Just as I told you, I was just 38, 39 years. As soon as I became the secretary, he said, Haridas bhai, today you are coming with me. I said, why? Loyola College. For what? No, it's a management association. Where and Father Kuryakos was the chairman, president of the Association of Managements of Private Colleges. He took me there. From that day, Father Kuryakos, I don't know what he found in me. Then when he went as a regional superior to Andhra, he said, Haridas, you have to become the president of the Association of Management. I said, Mr. Dhawan is there, K.R. Sundararajan is there, Shanmugaran, all these leading big educations are there. No, I want you to be there. And he took me, and that gave me exposure, and I became popular only because of S.R.G. in the entire Tamil Nadu in all the colleges. It's only because of S.R.G. I am what I am in the field of education. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Now I invite Dr. S.P. Rajagopal to share his thoughts. A few words about Dr. Rajagopal. He has done his MSc in Applied Mathematics from IIT Madras. He was appointed as lecturer in D.G. Vaishnav by prof.S.R, who was then the principal. He became HOD of Master of Computer Applications for MCA department, and then he was the principal of D.G. Vaishnav College, and then went on to become a member of the Syndicate of University of Madras. We now invite him to share his thoughts and stories.
Guests on the dais and distinguished members of the dais. It gives me immense pleasure to offer felicitations on the birth centenary celebration of Sakala Vidya Vasaspati, Prof.S.R. Govindarajan. Few days back, the affectionately called as Sundu, came to my house and told me that I have to offer the presentations on the birthday centenary celebrations, which will be held at Saganethraya. I am remembered, actually I want to tell you an anecdote here. The speaker began to, actually came to that public address system, and he was able to see somebody is coming with a gun from the rear end of the hall, and he came to the dais also very near to the speaker. The speaker was afraid and telling him, "You do not do any harm to me. I have not come of my own to talk, but somebody is instrumental in making me to talk. So, if at all you don't like, it is happening because of Sundu." You will all not be knowing about one important factor, namely SRJ and Kakama. They used to treat me as one of the sons. That is, though SRJ and Kakama has got only 2 sons and 2 daughters, but I am one of his sons in the family. That is, after Ravirajan and before Savida. I actually, after the untimely demise of my father, when I was continuing as that is BSc Mathematics at Central College, Trichy, I was forced to come to Chennai because we were not able to have 2 establishments. Therefore, the Hertanger family moved to my brother's house, and brother was working as, S.P. Srinivasan was working as the lecturer in the Department of Chemistry at AMJN College, and I was able to get the admission at that college after 4 months nearly, in the month of November or so, where they were following the annual pattern in those days. My allied subject was physics. One professor by name Govindarajan was taking classes for me, theory, and practical. I came to the lab, and I was not knowing SRJ at that time. A thin man with a coat entered the lab, and he came to my table where I was doing the practical. At the time I was doing, I remember very well, mapping the magnetic field. I have completed though they have allotted 2 hours for that, I have completed within 40 minutes. I was, after completing it and handing over the paper to the demonstrator, SRG entered and came to my table. Hey, what is that you are doing? Sir, I have completed my factory. Then he called the demonstrator and I told him, you give another, that is, you have to give another experiment for him to do. So this fellow, I feel he is very lazy. I don't want him to be lazy. So I want to be an ideal person and not an ideal person. Then they gave me something in calorimeter. I was doing it. And he said, after this class is over, you have to bring the papers, observation notebook, record notebook, everything to my room, and then only you can go out. With shivering, I went into his room after the class was over. I tell you that nobody has got guts to speak to that SRD. That is by sitting up before him or something. Always with so much of fear and of course affection will be there, but we were afraid to talk to him in those days. Such a disciplinary person, and he expects perfection from everybody. So I went to his room and showed, okay, why you have taken up mathematics? Why not you take up physics? Sir, I told my story about that, and he told, okay, you continue, whatever may be your problems, you continue. That was the first meeting with SRD. Next, with the help of Professor Sarvaban, I was introduced to Professor Govindarajan, and Professor Govindarajan took me to SRD for appointment after completing my MSc from IIT Madras. He took me to SRD. SRD saw me, and then I started to tell about my first meeting with him. He was able to recognize, he was remembering that, and told, okay, but don't think that I know you, I have given the job. If you are not going to shine, I will send you out of the college. So that was the thing. Then somehow or other, for the admissions and all that, he was asking me to come. Once he asked me, I was in Trichy for some work. At the time, he wrote a letter to me stating that you have to come and meet me tomorrow. Then at the time, my grandmother was expired. So I explained the position to the secretary, who was the manager. Then I came next day and told him, sir, this has happened. Okay, don't worry about it. But you have to accept to be the deputy warden for the hostel. I was in the hostel for 2 years in IIT Madras. There, how the students used to actually behave with the deputy warden and all that. That's what I do not want to become. No, I heard it. Because we are not married. Therefore, I am putting it. Then another 3 months I married. You have to leave me from this one. He did it. Then he attended my marriage, everything. I was moving in that family, Govindarajan Street, number 1, I feel. I was moving like a family member. Like, there's a saying, that behind every successful man, there's a woman. So everybody was praising about SRD. I tell you, SRD was able to get all these things because of the Kakama. People have forgotten about it. I tell you, that is because of Kakama only. That is, sometimes I used to tell Kakama for something, I have to get something done by SRD. Like used to say to the mother, and then she will go and then tell the father like that. I was almost every day I used to go to his house in those days, and Sundu was my companion. So, and also I was his teacher for some time. So, sometimes he was teaching me, and sometimes I was teaching him. So, this is a mutual thing, and we were enjoying. So, then, when I became the principal of the college, I don't think he would have gone to any, that is, when any other principal has become principal of the college, but all the way from the academy, Kotari Academy. He came in the afternoon and saw me in the principal's seat, and then he went away. Such affection I had with him and all that. I can go on telling many things. But one thing, sir, Ramakrishna Raja also telling something about how that houses have been constructed by getting the money from Rotary institutions and all that. One thing everybody is missing, I want to tell you about that. That Spatang Road is one World University Service. SRG brought more than 1 million crores, 1 million crores, and he was he met the then Chief Minister C.N. Anathalai, got the space for constructing this, and it should be under the control of DG Vishnu. I do not know where the weakness has happened, and unfortunately it went to the wrong hands, and many people they used that one for some other purpose and they earned money and all that. It was actually the thing was brought by SRG, and unfortunately the DG Vishnu people were not able to keep under their custody, and they have allowed somebody to become rich and all that. So many things I can go on telling him. To be very precise, I want to tell you that he's a renowned educationist and very admired administrator, and so many people used to come and consulting him for the research work also, and he used to tell them, as Raja told, that he is only Gurukulam, and many people used to come, and everybody, the Katama was going on supplying that tiffin, this coffee, everything. I have taken many times with SRG this meals, everything. So with these words, I thank everyone who has given me this opportunity to speak, to offer the presentation in birthday centenary celebrations of Sagala Vidya Vasaspati prof.S.R. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the graphic description of all the stories that were full of naughtiness and kindness and humility. The story as of SRG as a disciplinarian, as a father figure for you, very humble and great. And you give the story of the well-known WUS, which many of us don't know. Thank you, sir, for sharing all those golden moments with us. I now request Mr. Govindarajan to felicitate Dr. Rajagopal. Now we invite Dr. D.P. Shankaran from alumni of Loyola College. He has 37 years of teaching service in Loyola. He retired as Dean and Head of the Department of Chemistry. Dr. Shankaran.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave. A very good evening to all of you. Mr. Sundarajan, affectionately known as Sundu, contacted me a week back requesting me to talk about this in this centenary birth celebration. I was wondering in what way I will be felicitating him, because I was not his student, I was also not his colleague. Probably the only link that I had was his son was our Loyola College student. He was not my student directly. I was there in the Department of Chemistry and he was there doing his BSc. Anyhow, thank you very much, Mr. Govindarajan, for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I, on behalf of myself and on behalf of all those who are assembled here, invoke the blessings of prof.S.R., the great Guru. I also thank the organizers having given me the opportunity in the midst of the right group of members.
Professor S.R. Govindarajan, popularly known as SRG, was an erudite scholar, academician, an excellent administrator, scintillating scientist, and above all, a very good human being. Our salutations to the then Jia of Ahobila Mutt, who honored Professor SRG with the title Sakala Vidya Vachaspati, and he has got two many titles, and this is one of the most important titles he has been honored. It's a very fitting tribute to him. It's like a diamond pendant among the other titles. Immediately, I just wanted to gather information to felicitate Professor SRG. Then I spoke to all my senior colleagues, retired colleagues, and wanted to get information about SRG. And I went to Vaishnava College also. I met a few of my colleagues. And finally, I went to the Loyola College library and just wanted to look into the documentation. And from there, so I did some research work on this also, collection of information. And I wanted to search the Google what exactly the meaning of Vachaspati. And according to the Google platform, Vachaspati is a ragam in Carnatic music. All the music lovers would definitely agree with me. It's a ragam in Carnatic music which accelerates the mind, body and soul. This is very important. Which accelerates the mind, body and soul are the persons who are listening. Yes, Professor SRG involved himself whatever job he did, be it an administrator, academician or as a researcher. There was a wholehearted commitment. He not only involved himself, he made others too get involved totally, and everyone gets mesmerized. That's very important. And everyone feels like attending their classes again. Thus, he had the knack of extracting work from others with a complete satisfaction of everyone. Professor SRG is known for his academic ability. He was an authority in physics and other related subjects. Inside the class, I believe, and most of this information, my guru, Dr. A. Srinivasan, former lecturer, Department of Chemistry, head of the Department of Chemistry, used to share some of his information about SRG, because Dr. A. Srinivasan happened to be his brother-in-law, sister's brother. Professor SRG is known for his academic ability. He was an authority in physics. Inside the class, I believe, there will be a flow of high energy in the minds of the students, capable of removing fatigue and promoting relaxation. There will be no sign of boredom at all at any point of time. This is exactly what the Vachaspati Raga is supposed to kindle the audience during a concert. Let me again recall the characteristics, and it is the one which accelerates the mind, body and soul of the person. So, no wonder he is bestowed with this title Vachaspati. And as an all-rounder, definitely the Sakala Vidya Vachaspati. He happened to be Sakala Kala Vallavan in every field of his profession. Professor had all traits of a Jesuit institution. He was a student of St. Joseph's College. He was brought to Loyola College by Reverend Father Jerome de Souza, who happened to be his mentor from Pachibas College. He was in Loyola for a brief period before being pulled into A.M. Jain College by Professor A.L. Krishnan, the then principal of Jain College. And Professor A.L. Krishnan, Sri Seshadri, Professor Raghava Shastri, Professor Adiseshya, Reverend Father Razin, Maths Department, Dr. T. and Anantakrishnan, they were all contemporaries at that time in Loyola College. Though it was a brief period, the impact of his stay was enormous and lasted longly. The physics department hosts Professor S.R.G. a lot for what it is today, not only in Loyola but also in A.M. Jain College and Vaishnav College. During a stay in Loyola, he made many innovative changes in the physics department. Professor S.R.G. was also treated as a friend, philosopher and guide to the members of the other departments and the management on the whole. The management, for the rector and for the secretary used to consult him, I believe, at that time at any point of crisis. He brought Professor Dr. A. Srinivasan, my mentor and guru, to the chemistry department, and he was instrumental in bringing Dr. A. Srinivasan to the chemistry department. He used to tell me how Professor S.R.G. inspired every teacher in the campus. As a matter of fact, S.R.G. stood as a role model to everyone. The Loyola College management also patiently listened to all his advisors with dedication. Father Jerome de Souza used to tell when he wanted to leave Loyola College to Jain College under the influence of Professor A.L. Krishnan, and he used to mention, we remember, Paradise Lost by Loyola College turned to be a gain to D.G. Vaishnav College after long years of service, which could establish, Jain College could establish a very secure place in the map of academic institutions. We wish we have many SRGs are with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing what took you as a curiosity to find out who Professor S.R.G. is, and share his journey. And share that although Professor S.R.G. was in Loyola for a short while, he has left a very indelible mark, and Professor S.R.G.'s connection with Loyola is brought alive with your words. So thank you so much for that. I request Dr. Krishna Kumar, Principal, Rai School of Optometry, to fill the stage. Dr. Shankar. We have Amix as a celebrity writer who has fond memories to share about her experiences with Professor S.R.G. He reviewed one of her books, and with which their interaction started. Friends, I have great pleasure in inviting Mrs. Shiva Shankari to speak.
Good evening, friends. Before I go on further, I have a policy of mine which I want to share with all of you. It is my policy that wherever I am invited within Tamil Nadu as a writer to speak only in Tamil, because it is Tamil that has brought me this recognition and respect. So please allow me to speak in Tamil, and if there are some people who cannot understand Tamil, I am sure you will understand why I am doing so. Thank you. பெரியவர்களுக்கும் நண்பர்களுக்கும் வணக்கம். ஒரு ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு விழாவிலே கண்ணியத்துக்கும் பாசத்துக்கும் திறமைக்கும் சாதனைகளுக்கும் நல்ல மனித நேயத்துக்கும் மதிப்புகளுக்கும் பெயர் போன ஒரு அற்புதமான மனிதரின் நூற்றாண்டு விழாவிலே நான் பங்கு பெறுவது எனக்கு ஒரு கௌரவமாக இருக்கிறது. இந்த வாய்ப்பை தந்த சுந்தருக்கு என்னுடைய மனப்பூர்வமான நன்றிகள். சகல வித்யா வாச்சஸ்பதி என்று எல்லாராலும் அறியப்படும் ப்ரொஃபஸர் S.R. கோவிந்தராஜன் எனக்கெல்லாம் மாமா. அப்படி தான் அவரை நான் கூப்பிடுவேன். அவர் என்னை ஒரு பொண்ணு மாதிரி தான் நடத்தினார். அவங்க வீட்டில் ஒரு பொண்ணு மாதிரி தான் என்ன நடத்தினார். இவர் ஒரு மல்டி ஃபேசட்டட் பர்சனாலிட்டி. அவருக்கு எத்தனை முகங்கள் அப்பா. ஒரு கல்வியாளராக அவரை பற்றி எல்லாரும் பேசினாங்க. எவ்வளோ என்னென்ன சாதனைகள் செய்திருக்கிறார். ஒரு ரொட்டேரியனாக சமுதாயத்தை நேசித்து இந்த மக்களுக்காக, அடித்தட்டு மக்கள்லேருந்து எல்லாருக்காகவும் எவ்வளோ விஷயங்களை, நல்ல காரியங்களை இந்த சமுதாயத்துக்கு அவர் செய்திருக்கிறார். சங்கீதத்தில் அவருக்கு எவ்வளோ ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். இது எல்லாத்தையும் தாண்டி என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் he was a great literator. என்னமா அவருடைய அந்த இலக்கியம் பற்றிய அறிவு ஒரு பிரமிக்க வைக்கக்கூடியது. எனக்கு வந்து அவர் வந்து ஒரு மிக சிறந்த குரு என்று எல்லாரும் இங்கே பாராட்டினார்கள். எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு படித்த ஒரு விஷயம் ஞாபகத்துக்கு வந்தது. குரு என்ற வார்த்தைக்கு அவர் உதாரணமாக வாழ்ந்தார் என்று ஏன் சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்றால், சமஸ்கிருத வார்த்தையான குரு என்பதற்கு கு இருளை ரு அகற்றுபவர், த இக்னரன்ஸ் என்ற கருமையான இருளை அகற்றி ஒளியேற்றுபவர் தான் குரு. அதனால்தான் குரு. அப்படி ஒரு அற்புதமான குருவாக அவர் இருந்திருக்கிறார். நூற்றுக்கணக்கான ஆயிரக்கணக்கான மாணவர்களை உலகமெங்கும் இன்னைக்கு பிரகாசமாக ஜொலிக்க செய்திருக்கிறார். வெறும் படிப்பு மட்டும் கொடுக்கல, அவர் வந்து இட் வாஸ் லேஸ்ட் வித் வேல்யூஸ். அதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். வெறும் ஒரு சொன்னாங்க இல்லையா, ஒரு மதிப்புகள் இல்லாமல் ஒரு வளர்ச்சி வந்தால் அது வீக்கம். இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ ஸ்வெல்லிங், இட்ஸ் நாட் அ க்ரோத். எந்த ஒரு வளர்ச்சியுமே மதிப்புகளோடு கூடவே வர வேண்டும். மதிப்புகள் இல்லாத வளர்ச்சி வீக்கம். நமக்கு வீக்கம் வேண்டாம், நமக்கு நல்ல ஆரோக்கியமான புஷ்டியான வளர்ச்சி தான் வேண்டும். ஸோ அவர் திரு எஸ்ஆர்ஜி மாமா எல்லாருக்கும் what he imparted or inculcated was knowledge based with human values. அதனால தான் அவர் ஒரு மிக சிறந்த குருவாக இருக்கிறார். என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அவரை நான் 1970s தெரியும். எனக்கு அவரை எப்படி தெரியும் சொன்னால், அவர் வந்து நீங்கள் நிறைய பேர் பசங்களாக இங்கே இருக்கீங்க, உங்களுக்கு அப்புறம் பிறந்து கூட இருக்க மாட்டீங்க. அவர் வந்து ரொம்ப நல்ல விமர்சகர். he was a very great critic and reviewer. இவர் வந்து என்னுடைய புத்தகங்களை எல்லாம் விமர்சனம் பண்ணும்போது, அது ஹிந்துவிலும் பாக்கி பேப்பர்களிலும் வரும்போது அதை படித்து இவர் விமர்சகர் என்று தான் நான் முதல்ல அவருக்கு அறிமுகம் பண்ணேன். அவரை முதல் முறை நான் சந்தித்த போது, அப்போதான் என் கணவர் நானும் விழுப்புரத்தில் இருந்தோம். ஸோ மெட்ராஸ்க்கு கூட்டங்களுக்காகவும் வேலை நிமித்தமாகவும் இங்கே வரும்போதெல்லாம் இங்கே அப்போது அந்த திரு எஸ்ஆர்ஜி மாமா அவர்களே சந்திக்க எனக்கு வாய்ப்பு கிடைத்தது. சந்திச்ச போது அவர் முதல்ல என்கிட்ட சொன்னார், அம்மா நீ என்னை ரொம்ப படுத்திட்டம்மா அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். இவன் நான் முதல்ல பார்க்குறேன், நான் எப்படி உங்களை படுத்த முடியும் அப்படின்னு கேட்டபோது அவர் சொன்னார், அவர் வந்து ரோட்டரி வேலை விஷயமாக கனடாவுக்கு போயிருக்கிறார். அந்த கனடாவுக்கு போன சமயம் அன்றைக்கு அங்கே பனிப்பொழிவு, ஸ்னோ இருந்திருக்கிறது. இவரால் ஸ்னோ வெளியில் போக முடியல. சரி ஏதாவது பண்ணலான்னு பார்த்தா கையில் புக்ஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு போயிருந்தார். அதில் நான் எழுதிய நண்டு என்ற புத்தகம் இருந்திருக்கிறது. அந்த நண்டு என்ற புத்தகத்தை எடுத்து வைத்துக்கொண்டு அவர் படிக்க ஆரம்பித்திருக்கிறார். 2 நாளைக்கு ரூமை விட்டு வெளியே போகலையா, அந்த புத்தகம் அவரை அப்படியே அலக்கழித்து விட்டது. அங்கே இருக்க கெனடியன் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் வந்து என்னாச்சு உங்களுக்கு உடம்பு சரியில்லையான்னு கேட்கும் அளவுக்கு ஆகிவிட்டது. அப்புறம் அதை வந்து இந்தியன் அண்ட் ஃபாரின் ரிவ்யூ அப்படிங்கிற பத்திரிகையில் தன்னுடைய அனுபவத்தையும் என்னை ஒரு புத்தகத்தை பற்றி ஒரு நீண்ட விமர்சனம் அவர் எழுதியிருந்தார். அதை எனக்கு அனுப்பிவிட்டு அவர் சொன்னார், நீ என்னை படுத்திட்டேன். அப்புறம் ரொம்ப பெருமை அவருக்கு என்னன்னா, மனசுக்குள்ளே சென்று தங்கும் விதமாக கதாபாத்திரங்களையும் கருவையும் அமைக்கிறதுல என்னை பற்றி அவர் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்படுவார். அதெல்லாம் அவர்கிட்டேருந்து கிடைத்த மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு அருமையான பாராட்டுக்கள்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். விழுப்புரத்துக்கு ஒரு குடும்பத்தோடு வந்திருக்கார். சுந்தர் கூட இன்றைக்கி எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு வந்தப்போ கூட சொன்னார், உங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு வந்து உங்கள் நாயெல்லாம் கூட நான் பார்த்துருக்கேன்னு கூட சொல்லியிருக்காரு. அதுவும் சென்னைக்கு வரும்போதெல்லாம் அவங்க வீட்டுக்கு நான் போவேன். ஏன் இங்கே திரு ரவி அவங்க ஒய்ஃப் இருக்காங்க. 86 அமெரிக்கா போனபோது மாமா சொன்னார், அங்கே நான் ஐ வாஸ் இன்வைட்டட் ஃபார் இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் ரைட்டிங் ப்ரோக்ராம் அஸ் தி ஒன்லி ரைட்டர் ஃப்ரம் இந்தியா. ஸோ அங்கே போய் 3 மாதம் அயோவாவில் இருந்து அந்த கோர்ஸ் எல்லாம் முடிச்சு விட்டு அங்கே ட்ராவல் பண்ணப்போ மன்ஹாட்டனில் அவள் இருந்தாள். மாமா சொல்லி நான் மன்ஹாட்டனில் இப்போ கூட அவங்க சொன்னாங்க என்கிட்ட, டைம் ஸ்கொயருக்கு போகவே எல்லாரும் தனியாக பயப்படுவோம், நீங்கள் தைரியமாக அங்கே வந்து இருந்தீங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. அங்கே வந்து என்னை பிக்கப் பண்ணி போய் அவங்க வீட்டில் எனக்கு சாப்பாடு போட்டு என்னை கொண்டு வந்து விட்டாங்க. ஸோ எதுக்கு சொல்கிறேன் என்றால், பின்னரெல்லாம் அது வந்து ஒரு எழுத்தாளர் ஒரு விமர்சகராக துவங்கிய அறிமுகம் பின்னர் வந்து குடும்பத்தில் ஒருத்தராக ஆகும் அளவுக்கு இருந்தது. எவ்வளோ அழகான புத்தகங்களை பற்றியெல்லாம் எனக்கு அவர் அறிமுகப்படுத்தியிருக்கிறார். எவ்வளவு நல்ல எழுத்தாளர்களை எல்லாம் சிவசங்கர் இதை படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா, அதை படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா, இந்த புத்தகத்தை படிக்கணும், இதில் பாருங்க கேரக்டரைசேஷன் எப்படி இருக்கு பாருங்க, இந்த வெளிநாட்டு எழுத்தாளரோட எழுத்து வந்து படிச்சிங்களா. ஆக என்னுடைய இலக்கிய அறிவுக்கு எனக்கும் அவர் குரு தான், ஆசான் தான். அந்த விதத்தில் நான் நிறைய அவர்கிட்ட கற்றுட்ருக்கேன்னு சொல்லணும். அவர் ஜென்டில்மேன் டு த கோர் பற்றி எல்லாருமே சொன்னாங்க. இது அதோடு நான் அவர் வாழ்க்கையை எப்படி வாழ்ந்தார், நமக்கெல்லாம் எப்படி ஒரு ரோல் மாடலாக இருந்தார் என்பதற்கு நான் முன்னாடி எழுத்தாளராக நிற்கிறேன். ஒரு குட்டி கதை சொல்லலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இது எஸ்ஆர்ஜி மாமாவுக்கு ரொம்ப பொருத்தமாக இருக்கும்னு நான் மனப்பூர்வமாக நம்புகிறேன். ஒரு குரு இருந்தார். இதுவும் ஒரு குருவை பற்றின கதை தான். அந்த குரு மாணவர்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு வேதாந்தத்திலிருந்து ஒரு விஷயத்தை எடுத்து விளக்கி கொண்டிருக்கும் போது ஒரு 35-40 வயசு தக்க ஒரு இளைஞன் அங்கே வந்தான். தலையெல்லாம் கலைந்து, கண்களெல்லாம் சிவந்து, உடையெல்லாம் கசங்கி அலங்கோலமாக. அவனை பார்த்தாலே தெரிஞ்சது சம்திங் இஸ் பாதரிங் ஹிம். அவன் ஏதோ ஒரு பிரச்சனையில் இருக்கான், அவன் தூங்காமல் இருக்கான், சரியாக சாப்பிடாம இருக்கான், ஏதோ ஒன்று அவனை அலக்கழிக்கிறதுங்கிறது நல்லா தெரிஞ்சுது. அவன் வந்து நின்ன உடனே குருவை பார்த்து சொன்னான், வணக்கம் வச்சோடனே, என்னப்பா நீ யாரு, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு அவர் கேட்டார். அப்போ அவன் சொன்னான், நான் ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டுட்ருக்கேன், பகலாக அந்த கேள்விக்கு பதில் கேட்டுறேன், எல்லார்கிட்டையும் போட்டேன், I've gone from pillar to post. ஆனால் யாருமே எனக்கு அந்த கேள்விக்கு சரியான பதிலை சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. எல்லாரும் சொன்னாங்க you are an enlightened soul. ஸோ உங்ககிட்ட வந்து கேட்டாக்க எனக்கு இதுக்கு பதில் கிடைக்கும்னு சொன்னாங்க. நான் நம்பிக்கையோடு வந்திருக்கிறேன், என் கேள்விக்கு பதில் சொல்லியிருக்கிறா அது கேட்டான். குரு சொன்னாங்க, கேளுப்பா, உன் கேள்வி என்ன கேளு. பிறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, இறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, வாட் இஸ் பர்த், வாட் இஸ் டெத். நாம் எங்கிருந்து வருகிறோம், நாம் எங்கே போகிறோம், where do we come and where do we go. இதை பற்றி யாருமே சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க, நீங்கள் சொல்லுங்க. இந்த குரு ஒரு சின்னதாக ஒரு சிரிச்சுட்டு சொன்னாரா, நீ முதல்ல அந்த ரூம்குள்ளே போய் எனக்கு இந்த புஸ்தகம் ஒன்று இருக்குது, அதை எடுத்துகிட்டு வாங்க. அங்கே போனவன் திரும்பி வந்து, ஐயோ ஒரே இருட்டாக இருக்குது, எனக்கு ஒன்றுமே கண்ணு தெரியலன்னு சொன்னாங்க. உடனே ஒரு மெழுகுவர்த்தியை கொடுத்து ஏற்றிக்கொள் அப்படின்ன போது அந்த மெழுகுவர்த்தி வெளிச்சத்தில் போய் அந்த இருட்டு அறையில் அவர் கேட்ட புத்தகத்தை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு வந்து அந்த குரு கிட்ட கொடுத்துட்டு அவர் குரு சொன்னாராம், மெழுகுவர்த்தியை ஊதி அணையினாராம். அவன் ஊதி அணைச்சிட்டு அவன் சொன்னானா, நீங்களும் விளையாட்டா எடுத்துட்டீங்க இல்லையா, நான் உங்ககிட்ட எவ்வளோ நம்பிக்கையோடு வந்தேன். பிறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, இறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, எங்கேருந்து வருகிறோம், எங்கே போகிறோங்கிற கேள்விக்கு பதில் கிடைக்கும்னு பார்த்தா நீங்கள் என்னை வந்து மெழுகுவர்த்தி வச்சுக்கோ, ஏற்றிக்கோ, அந்த இருட்டுக்கு போய் இந்த புத்தகத்தை கொண்டு வா, ஊதி அடங்குறீங்களே, என்னை பார்த்தா உங்களுக்கு விளையாட்டாக கேட்டபோது அந்த குரு சொன்னாராம், கேட்டாராம், முதல்ல என் கேள்விக்கு பதில் சொல்லு. மெழுகுவர்த்தி ஏற்றினாயே அந்த வெளிச்சம் எங்கேருந்து வந்தது கேட்டார். தெரியாது. ஊதி அணைத்தாயே அந்த வெளிச்சம் எங்கே போச்சு, தெரியாது. ஆக வெளிச்சம் எங்கேருந்து வந்ததுன்னு உனக்கு தெரியாது, எங்கே போச்சுன்னு உனக்கு தெரியாது. ஆனால் அந்த வெளிச்சம் இருந்த நாடியில் நீ உபயோகமான ஒரு காரியம் செய்த மாதிரி பிறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, எங்கேருந்து வரோம், இறப்பு என்றால் என்ன, எங்கே போகிறோம்னு கவலைப்படாமல் உயிரோடு இருக்கும்போது அர்த்தமுள்ள காரியங்களை செய்து வாழ்க்கையை அர்த்தமுள்ளதாக்கி கொண்டு சொன்னார். அந்த மாதிரி தன் வாழ்க்கையை மிக 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 அர்த்தமுள்ளதாக ஆக்கிக்கொண்ட ஒரு அற்புதமான மனிதருடைய 100ஆண்டு விழாவிலே பங்கெடுத்ததற்கு எனக்கு ரொம்ப பெருமையாக இருக்கிறது. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
விமர்சனம் எப்படி ஒரு நட்புக்கு காரணமாகலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது உங்களுடைய கதை தெரியும். ரிக்வெஸ்ட் மிஸ்ஸஸ் லதாராஜன் and Mrs. Doctrina and Mrs. Sapita, Mrs. Sadi's daughter, to felicitate Mrs. Now I invite Dr. Badrinath, Chairman Emeritus of Kakalekaya, to share his thoughts.
Thank you for being with us this evening. Very important day for us to explore poetry and strengthen Italian. very, very important because the elite school, which was founded in 2000, the elite school was founded in 1995. You were acting, you also delivered with Lord Srivan. In 1985, the day that they started in the elite school. And I would like to share with you a very interesting story. The need for optometry was very well felt by those who are ophthalmologists. There were some who were very strongly against it, but many have indicated that we would like to have an ophthalmologist come, an optometrist to come, and to help them with the practice. So we started the course, and I wanted the course to be absolutely academic, and I wanted students studying more school results, and also from a practical point of view, optometry and ophthalmology, there are a lot of things you need to do to the patient of some people. I wanted to have an exceptionally good practical training as well. So I was looking for someone who would lead an institution which had character building as an important role, and to give practical training as an important aspect, and not commercially oriented. That's important point. And when I approached Professor Haridas, your friend Haridas, that I am looking for someone who would lead an institution, an educational institution in the midst of a medical world. So he gave me 2 days, and after 2 days came back and I found out the right person for you. When he mentioned the name of Professor S.R. I just asked him, will you really come to an non-academic institution in Centenary? We have, of course, well-known in the field of ophthalmology, more from the point of view of practical ophthalmology rather than academic ophthalmology. We come, we certainly come. And having held such high positions in the other institutions, it's possible for us to really afford him from the point of view of remuneration. So don't worry about it, first let's see whether he meets you and find out more about the institution we are in, and also find out whether he's interested in starting a career as full optometry. Well, we had an interesting meeting, all the things we exchanged, and Professor S.R. agreed, and then it came to the question for in remuneration. I asked him sure how much we have to give you. And I would like to share this information that the last 22 years with associated with us, he did everything pro bono. So again, he involved himself so totally, heart and soul, I have to say, after the period he was with us, that he went to America, stayed with his son, and maybe meet his grandson, who coached him for Harvard and Columbia branch. And during that 2-month period, he also went to different parts of America to find out more about optometry, optometric education, and how it should be organized. He met maybe about 10 schools of optometry deans, professors, and got a good amount of knowledge. And one of the schools happened to be the Berkeley School of Optometry, so Professor Enoch. And he spent so much of time outside, posh academics earlier. The examining members started pressing him. Hey, come here to meet us and see us. I become with us, academics earlier. So he wrote and engaged was whatever he undertook as a job, and so that is how he was able to grasp how things are done in America, what is needed in India. We had a good combination of ethos of India and knowledge of America. Create a school of optometry. His friends, I would like to share with you today, we were the first one to start a school of optometry. Today, there are 45 other schools all over India, following our model. And Suren, of course, mentioned that we didn't have to change over what he put down as a board study curriculum and what
is what is required as for opportunity. If you want to keep near there, to regularly help more of the study meetings, you are able to give assistance to others and maintain quality which you want very much to maintain. No question of submitting ourselves to application fees, etc., which is the important trend in higher education. There are many things which I could probably talk about from the SRG. We had 22 years of good friendship and coordination and cooperation. But since the time is up and since I am supposed to talk for a very short period of time, I'll end with only one very important thing. That today we would like to offer our respect, homage to Professor S.R.G. All the members of the family also who are assembled here would like to do that. And I thought I would like to do it in such a different way. And we have my fortunately blessings of the good Lord. And Vani Jairam, who is with us, good evening. We're going to sing for you a vote of thanks. Please just kindly wait for a few minutes. Remain for surprise.
Now I request Vani Jairam. He would like to sing a particular song that he feels is befitting for the occasion.
Thank you, Govindarajan, for making me a part of this great function. I'm grateful to you. You especially made a request asking me to sing this number from the film Ramanujan. ഓരായിരം ഈരായിരം മൂവായിരം നാവായിരം ഓരായിരം ഈരായിരം മൂവായിരം നാമം എന്ന നാലായിരം നൂലായിരം നാവാരവി പേസും ആരാമുതൻ തീരാമുതൻ ഏറാർ പുகഴ് കൂറും ദിനമാരാധനയാർ செய்யினும் தீராவினை தீரும் ஹரிநாராயண நாராயண 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 சிறுவிரல்தனில் மாமலை தனை ஏந்திய திருமாலவன் ஹரிநாராயண நாராயண நாராயண அருளமுதினை மாமழை என பெய்திடும் பெருமாளவன் ஹரிநாராயண நாராயண நாராயண மறையினில் மறைவாக இருந்திடும் பெருமானே ஒரு தாயிடம் சிறுவாய் மொழி ஜகம் காட்டிய ஜெகநாயக நாராயண 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 பாண்டவர்க்கென துரியோதன சபையேறிய ஒரு தூதுவன் உன்னை விட ஒரு உயிர் தோழமை உலகேறியும் ஏது பார்த்தனுக்கென குருக்ஷேத்திரம் என்னும் பூமியில் ஒரு கீதை உதவியதென அவன் பூமணம் மலை பாய்ந்திடும் போது குரல் கேட்டதும் பூஞ்சேலைகள் கொடுத்தாயடா அடடா அவள் மானம் அவமானம் அடையாமல் இடை சேர உடை தந்தாயே கிருஷ்ணா முகுந்தா நடு இரவினில் தேவகி மடி தோன்றிய மதுசூதன ஹரி நாராயண 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 நாராயண
Thank you so much for such a melodious song. I now request Mrs. Govindarajan to come and felicitate Dr. Mrs. Swanjay. It's rarely the privilege just to felicitate Dr. Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Govindarajan and Mr. Govindarajan to felicitate Dr. I now request Mr. Govindarajan to give a vote of thanks. Thank you for all of you for being such a wonderful audience.
Good evening, dear friends and well-wishers. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you in this pleasant evening and propose a vote of thanks. I would say I'm much, much happier. I feel very privileged and honored to thank this august audience. It's with profound sense of gratitude and love that I recall the meeting I had with Dr. Govindarajan, requesting him to lead and conduct my father's birthday celebrations. His immediate response was, "It's my pleasure and thank you for giving me this opportunity." I was so touched by his humility and his generosity. What has happened now is much more than what I ever imagined. The kind of respect, high regard, love and affection he has for my father, I have no words to express. My pronouns to you, sir, and much intimated. Thank you so much for making this event happen so beautifully, with so much warmth and grandeur. It's my bounden duty to thank every one of those who have been responsible for conducting this program, who have been with me in this journey. At the outset, I must thank Centenary Medical Research Foundation for organizing this event. Mrs. Durga Sriram, your invocation on Saraswati has set the perfect tone for the centenary celebrations of a great academician and a person who believed in empowering women through education. Thank you, Durga. I would fail in my duty if I do not thank you, Dr. T.S. Sulendran, for welcoming this gathering and sharing your thoughts humorously. Sri Ramakrishnan, our association with you has been there for about 6 decades. Beginning as my father's students, you have now become a family elder. I recall you seeking my father's blessing on every Deepavali day. Thank you, sir, for being a part of this occasion. I'm so touched and thankful to Sri Ramchandra Raja, Director Ramco Group, who has come all the way from Rajpadan to honor us with his gracious presence. I also thank Mrs. Govindarajan for her presence. Thank you, Dr. Santanam, for all the kind words that you shared about my father. Sri Haridas ji, my pranams. I very much remember those golden days when you and my father were closely associated. The efforts you took along with my father to build E.G. Vaishnav College to what it is now. I offer my deepest sense of gratitude, sir. I place on record my sincere thanks to Sri S.P. Rajagopalan, a very close family member. Thank you so much for coming to sharing your lovely anecdotes on my father. Dr. Sankaran, thank you, sir, for coming and being with us. Your presence here shows the connect between Loyola College and my father. It cannot be very odd family to thank a person who is very close to our heart, Shivasankari ma'am, for being with us on this memorable occasion. This event has been possible only because of the team headed by a dynamic person, Dr. Achila Ganesan, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Mr. Mohan, Ms. Satya Sai Ishwari, Mr. Sivakumar, and all other team members. Thank you all. Thanks to all the volunteers from SWAN. Dr. Utra, head of the Department of Physics, E.G. Vaishnav College, has been a big support to me. Thank you, Utra. My special thanks to you, all my young friend from Elite School of Optometry who make such graceful posts. I must thank all the students, colleagues, relatives, friends of my father who have taken so much effort to come here and attend this commemoration. You have added value for this occasion and you stand here as a testimony for the bonding my father has created. Thank you all very much. I thank all his grandchildren, my niece and nephews, who have been a motivating factor, who rejoice their memories with their tata, who carry on his legacy, and I know many of them will be missing this event, except Sumati and his great-granddaughter Anta, who are here on this class. It's with that in mind, I created this beautiful documentary as well, capturing the entire event. My heartfelt thanks to our visual artist, Mr. Gani, for helping me give this gift to the generator next. A very special thanks to Eden for supplying delicious snacks. Our gratitude to the audiovisual team for the technical support. Our thanks to the media people here. Lastly, I have a great pleasure in thanking our close family friend who is more than a sister, Dr. Sumati Narayan, for conducting this event so smoothly and beautifully. A big thank you for each and every one of you present here and for making this event great and memorable. Thank you very much. Last week she was all right. Suddenly she ready. I will come tomorrow and see her thing and allow Panano. Say, okay. Phone பண்ணிட்டு வரேன் டாக்டர். Take care. இது நாளைக்கு வரல. சரி. அவர் சொன்னது பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Dresses you all the way in. My sanitation.
Normal